Hello, sweet souls. How are you? How are you doing? How are you feeling? How is your heart? How are all the parts of you? I'm super excited to come in with today's message because it's been building up within me for a long time. And I wanted to put these two questions together because they are the lens through which I allow what's happening in my life. Allow this earthly existence, allow the ups and downs. So, I'm going to share two questions that change everything. These questions were gifted to me by my soul and the ancestors. But first, hi, I'm Maggie. I'm a storyteller and a writer and a ritualist, and I help individuals, souls just like yourself, hear the embodied wisdom, the love that wants to surface from within to guide your entire life so that you can be the love, be all the love, truly let it radiate from you, let it enlight from within, such that it calls in everything that you're looking for, including love, more love, the capacity for more love, or the love of your life. So, I'm here to share two questions that will change every moment of your life, especially when you combine them together. Now, let's begin. I'm going to break this down into a few different sections. Life, in and of itself, is constantly asking you to choose. And the core thing it's asking you to do is to choose whether or not you are going to react, whether you are going to react from fear or whether you're going to react from love. You are always being asked to meet your moments, either unconsciously or with fierce intention. And it's up to you what you do, right? So, the two simple questions I'm going to share with you today have the power to transform every breath, every moment, every interaction. And these questions move you from surviving to thriving, from sleepwalking through this short life that you have to feeling fully alive and fully awake. That's what they did for me. And I've been working with these questions in different ways for almost 10 years, ever since I started hearing my soul, right? And what it calls me into. And I decided to summarize it into two short questions so that you could use these questions in your everyday life. Because I need you, we need you, you need you to move from surviving to thriving. We need you to move out of fear and into love. You need you to be fully awake. This world, this existence that we're all in, it does not progress from survival mode, from scarcity, from feeling hopeless, from a lack of aliveness. It thrives, it progresses from love, period. Period. So I want to share the two questions and I kind of will weave them through with some personal real life story. And again, the premise is so many of us live our lives on autopilot. We are reacting instead of responding. And I know this well. I lived the first many decades of my life in pure reactionary mode. When challenges come up, sort of my default mode was survival rather than choice, conscious choice. What can I do in this moment just to stay alive? And I get that. So many of us are moving through that right now. But I forgot that even in difficult moments, I had the power to choose my response. You have the power to choose your response and how you're going to live this life in every single moment. And it has nothing to do with another person. It's all right here with you. So, the short story, the short sort of life experience that brought me here to where I heard my ancestors say, share these questions with everyone here on YouTube was, let's see, nearly a year ago, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I had surgery on my ankle, and I had been living in pain for close to 2 years leading up to it. And the cause of it doesn't matter. I tried to heal it holistically. I'm super, super active. I do a lot of movement. I tried to heal it holistically, and it never came to pass, and surgery was required. And the healing journey since has been super slow. Like, I've literally had to learn how to walk again, how to stand in a quality posture, how to balance the left and the right side of me, and how to get back to all the movement that I love to do. But that path is painful, like super painful. And every time I feel pain, when I increased my walking or got back on the yoga mat or started doing lifting, any of those moments, every time I felt familiar pain, old stories would surface and take over. I would fear that I would need another surgery. I would fear that I wasn't actually fixed. I would fear that I'd never be active again. And I certainly would move into, oh my goodness, something is wrong, right? My nervous system has been stuck in this hyper vigilant survival mode around this particular pain, always bracing for the next problem, always looking for the pain, right? So when I went inward and sat with this very recently, because I started this new course of study that requires me to be even more active, and I'm excited by it and I love it, right? But the soul invited me to hear these two questions and to ask myself these questions. And the two questions that I asked myself instantly shifted me. My body shifted from, oh my God, I'm broken, I'm dangerous, to, oh my goodness, my body is communicating what it feels, right? And you can tell the shift in that language is beautiful, because shifting your words and your thoughts is the intention, is the meditation, is the prayer that calls in what is meant for you. So now, instead of when panic arises, instead of when this pain causes this panic, I can ask these two questions, and they are, what is love asking from me right now? And how do I want to meet this moment? And I'll write the questions in the description, and I will say them again throughout this video as I speak about these questions. And I leave them on the altar for you as a potential lens to see, to view, to bring curiosity to what is happening to you right now. Question number one is, what is love asking from me right now? Or what is love asking from you right now? It allows love to be your inner compass. It allows the soul and its love to be your inner compass. And it's not just like a romantic feeling. I know we think love is like, I'm falling in love, it's super romantic. No, put that aside. That's just one facet of love. Love is universal wisdom and compassion. And it starts with you. It starts with you showing that to you. This question, what is love asking from me right now in this moment? It pulls you out of your ego and your fear into your highest self or your soul. It raises the bar. It helps you ascend into the state of holiness that is you, right? So I'll give you some examples of what this could look like. When you're angry, if you ask yourself, what is love asking from me right now? Perhaps you hear that love is asking for patience. When you're scared, if you ask yourself the question, what is love asking from me right now? Love may be inviting you into courage, into bravery of some kind. And if you are judging yourself or others, which so many of us do on a daily basis, it is sort of a natural inclination at this point. I have to talk myself back from it just like anybody else. I shift judgment into discernment. But when you are judging, if you ask yourself, what is love asking from me right now? Love may be asking for your compassion to yourself and then to others. This question connects you to something larger than your immediate reaction. It gets you into a state of sacredness with self, of devotion to self, so you can move from reaction to response. And that gets us to the second question. And it was very funny when the ancestors dropped the second question in, because it can be seen as simple as choice, but we were talking about the sacred pause, me and the ancestors. And they said, in the sacred pause, you get to decide how you meet the moment. So the second question is, how do I want to meet this moment? This is about conscious choice and personal agency over yourself, no one else, right? This is about you recognizing that this moment that you're in the present moment, is part of your one precious life. And who knows, you may have multiple lifetimes, right? We have no idea really. We can only say what we believe and what we feel. But in this moment, you have this life. So, how are you going to meet this moment in your life? Asking, how do I want to meet this moment, moves you from what's happening to me to how do I want to show up, right? And every moment, every one of these moments, when you ask yourself that question, becomes an opportunity to align to your values and to your intentions. So if I'm in deep pain with my ankle because I've overextended myself or walked too far or whatever it is, right? I can freak out and build up this story that I'm never going to get stronger. I'm never going to be as mobile as I was. Or I can say, oh my goodness, I am so grateful that my body is communicating to me. It is communicating to me what it needs. And what it needs in this moment is rest. And I'm going to show myself enough compassion to rest. I'm not going to freak out. I'm not going to jump toward fear or survival or something major is wrong. I'm going to jump toward love, toward intention, toward choice. And the magic between these two questions is when you use them both together in the moment, right? Love provides a canvas and a broad direction, right? And conscious choice provides the action, the intention, right? They work as a team. So, love, your soul is wisdom, can meet your agency, your inspired action. They unite. And those two questions can transform ordinary moments into sacred opportunities for growth, such that, like, all of your life becomes the altar at which you devote yourself to you and your growth and your love. So, my invitation is to remember these two questions, especially in heated moments. Invite in the pause when you get angry or scared. You can start small, right? Someone could call you and say something that's fussy or grumpy, and you can jump in and react, or you can say, what's love asking of me right now? How do I want to meet this moment? And take the 10 seconds. You're entitled to the pause, right? Your whole life can be a pause. And this action has a ripple effect. It changes not just your experience, but it ripples outwards toward how you show up for others. But it starts here. It starts with you. Here's the thing. Life is happening now, in this moment. And every moment in which you are unconscious and reacting is a moment that's missing your presence. And again, like I said, perhaps you get more lifetimes. Perhaps you get to do all this again. But as far as we know, all that matters now is the present. Yes, the ancestors have said you get multiple lifetimes. You get to do all of this all over again. And also, how are we making the most of this life, right? Being here is such a gift. To be able to express and feel and be creative, that is such a gift. To be able to love is such a gift. These two questions, they're able to bring you back home to you and your soul. And so my invitation on the altar between us is that you try them. Try them for a day and notice what shifts. Or write in your journal at the end of the day when something's happened. Write these two questions down. What is love asking from me right now? And how do I want to meet this moment? And I see some of you writing this question down, these two questions down right now, and that's lovely. My invitation is to cut it out and put it up on your computer screen or put it at the front of your journal as a lens through which to look at everything, or as much as your body will allow. Listen, all is allowed. If you want to react, if you want to move from fear and scarcity and survival, do you. I invite you to do what feels good. And also, that reaction will receive, in turn, another reaction. And so I invite myself into responding. I invite myself into the sacred pause in which I speak to my soul, in which I ask myself these questions, and I convert a moment away from fear toward love, away from survival, from surviving toward thriving. And that's the message that I meant to leave on the altar today. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. I know I will be back again very, very soon with another message, another transmission for you. And until then, I'm sending you so much love.